Blessed day guys, and peace be upon you this morning. So in this video, we're going to learn how to configure DHCP relay agent on a multilayer switch. So in this topology here, you can see we have a multilayer switch here as our relay agent. On the left side, we have a DHCP server. On the right side, we have our LAN that needs dynamic IP address allocation. So this relay agent should act as the bridge between the DHCP server and the LAN here, so that the LAN can get IP addresses from the DHCP server. So in the previous video, we learned how to configure DHCP relay agent using a Cisco route, but in this case, it's a multilayer switch. So I'll open our Google spreadsheet, let you know that we are in number 8. Part 2. Okay. Alright. So without any further ado, I'll open our notepad again to let you know that we're going to do DHCP relay agent configuration on a layer 3 switch. Okay. Alright. So let's begin. Draw the necessary topology, decorate, and comment. So the first step is always to draw the necessary topology, decorate, and comment. So as you can see my topology here, I have a multilayer switch at the center, 2 access layer switches left and right, DHCP server on the left and the host computers on the right. For the device choice, choose 3650 multilayer switch. I repeat, 3650 multilayer switch. 2960 access layer switches, but the servers just standard. Okay, computers remain the same, right? Okay, so let's go to the second step. Enable IP routing and configure IP to the layer 3 switch interface, and also static IP address to the server. So guys, as you can see, as you can remember, we've always said that multilayer switch is capable of carrying out both routing and switching functionality, but we have to make it act like a router, because by default it's a switch. So how do we make it act like a router? We enable IP routing, okay? Because in this topology, I want to configure IP address to this interface, gig 102 and gig 102, gig 101, okay? So gig 101 connects to this LAN here, gig 102 connects to the LAN that is connecting our DHCP server. So the first step is always to enable IP routing, and remember this is 3650 multilayer switch. So the first thing that you do, you can see if you try to go to CLI, we get this error here. And how do we resolve it? Device must be powered on. Just click OK, and it will take you to physical tab. When you reach to the physical tab, make sure you drag this AC power supply. Drag AC power supply and put into this empty slot, and that's all. Give it like 10 seconds, and we click back to CLI. So you see it's booting. Okay. All right. So it has booted. So we just say no. Okay. All right. Enable config T. The first step that we said is to make it act both as a router and a switch. Enable IP routing. So how do we enable IP routing? A very simple command. We just say IP routing. That's all. That's all. Then we've been told here, configure IP address to the multilayer switch interfaces plus static IP address to the server. So we are going to configure IP address to this interface and this interface, gig 101, gig 102. And remember also that these interfaces, by default, they are switch ports. You cannot configure IP address on a switch port. You have to make it a layer 3 interface. So we just say interface. Let's start with gig 102, right? Interface gig 1/0/2, and we make it layer 3 interface first, because if I can just say IP add 192.168.11.1 255.255.255.0. You see, we get that error because it's still a switch port. So let's make it a layer 3 interface. And how do we make it a layer 3 interface? Very simple. You just say no switch port. That's all. It's now a layer 3 interface. Now if I can just repeat this command again, which was that one, which was this one, okay, and I hit enter. You see, now I can't get the error that I got the previous time. Okay, all right, so let's go to gig 101 and do it very fast. Gig 101, no switch port. Then you assign it IP address of 192.168.22.1. So we change level to 22.1 and we hit enter and exit. We close, we go to DHCP server and assign it IP address to that server. Click on it. We come to desktop, IP configuration, and 192.168.11. Let's say the DHCP server is taking the last usable IP address, which has always been 254. Okay, let it take that one 254. So I'll copy it, come here. Default gateway, I want it just be .1, which was the IP address of this interface. Don't forget, default gateway of this DHCP server should be the IP address of the connecting multilayer switch interface, which is gig 102. Okay, then DNS server, I want DNS server of this network to be just the IP address of the server. Okay, all right, so this is the DHCP server, and at the same time it's the DNS server. So we just close, that's all. Then when I come back to notepad, number 4 or number 3, on the DHCP server device, create DHCP pool, subnet mask, number of usable IP address, default gateway, and DNS address. So we go here and create a pool. Which pool? A pool that will be responsible to allocate IP address to this LAN here. We create a pool here that will be responsible to allocate dynamic IP addresses to this LAN here. Okay, alright, so we click on the DHCP server, then we come to services, we come to DHCP. The first thing you do, turn it on, then change everything to 00. Makes everything to look 00. Okay, 0000. If you see any number, change it to 0. If you see any number, change it to 0. Okay, and you do what? You just save. That's all we want. Now let's create the pool for this that will provide dynamic IP allocation to this LAN here. How do we create a pool? Let's just modify this pool. Let's just modify that pool and say this is HR department, HR depth -pool. Okay, then the default gateway of HR department with this department should be IP address of this interface, which was 22.1. okay, 192.168.22.1. DNS server, I want DNS server to be our DHCP server, and the DHCP server has an IP address of that one. Okay, all right. So when we come back here, now this start IP address, we want the DHCP server to start allocating these host IP addresses from, let's say, 192.168.22.11. So the first host should take .11 because from .1 to .10 maybe it's reserved for other devices. Okay, then the subnet mask is very vital here, very crucial here. If you don't put a correct subnet mask, things might fail. Then finally, the maximum number of users that we want here. Let's say we want how many users? 240 in our HR department. Okay, then what to do? Don't save, just add. And now our pool is here, correctly configured. Make sure the default gateway is correct, the DNS server is correct, and the start IP address is in this range. Server mask, very crucial here. Okay, alright, so we just close it and we open our notepad again and go to Multilayer switch interface connecting LAN and configure to relay DHCP messages to the DHCP server. So we are going to this multi-layer switch here, which is our relay agent, and configuring this interface, the interface that is connecting to our LAN, so that this interface can relay DHCP messages to this DHCP server. Whenever this host request for IP address, the request will come here first. When the requests are here, this guy here will forward the request to this guy. Okay, all right. Okay, so let's do that. Just click there and we go to which guy? The interface here, which is gig 101. Okay, so we just go to gig 101 and configure DHCP relay agent. And how do we configure DHCP relay agent? It's very simple command. Just say IP helper address to be the IP address of the DHCP server. I just paste because I copied it previously, and I hit enter, exit. So I close it, and if I go here, go to every PC and change option to DHCP. If I can just click here, come to desktop, come to IP configuration and turn to DHCP, give it some time, it will pick IP address from the DHCP server. Okay, alright, so let's just give it some time. You see, it has picked 22.11. okay, so if I can come back here again, do for this one and change to DHCP, you just give it some time and you see. So guys, I believe this video has really helped you know how to configure DHCP relay agent on a multi-layer switch. So I'll go back to our Google spreadsheet and mark that number 8 as done. So when we meet again, we're going to start on routing protocols: static, floating, default routing, RIP, HSRP, OSPF, and BGP routing protocol. Thank you so much guys. Please subscribe to my channel, like this video, share with friends, and let's see you again in the next video. Bye.